Hey everyone, welcome back to XYZ Fitness and Health. Today we're diving into a controversial and, frankly, shocking development in U.S. politics. The National Federation of Republican Assemblies has cited the notorious Dred Scott decision to argue that Vice President Kamala Harris is ineligible to run for president. This is a story you don't want to miss, so let's get into it. The National Federation of Republican Assemblies, or NFRA, has recently made headlines for citing one of the most infamous Supreme Court rulings in U.S. history, the 1857 Dred Scott decision. This ruling, which stated that enslaved people weren't citizens and couldn't expect protection from the federal government, is now being used by the NFRA to argue that Kamala Harris, along with other candidates like Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley, is ineligible to run for president. Just to give you some context, the Dred Scott ruling was a major factor that pushed the United States closer to the Civil War. It declared that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, could never be U.S. citizens. This decision was so controversial that it was effectively overturned by the 13th and 14th Amendments, which abolished slavery and granted citizenship to anyone born in the U.S. The NFRA argues that to be a natural-born citizen eligible for the presidency, one must be born on U.S. soil to parents who are both U.S. citizens at the time of birth. They're pointing to the originalist interpretations of the Constitution, as championed by late Supreme Court Justices Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas, to support their claim. Their platform document even lists 6 Supreme Court cases to back their argument, including the Dred Scott decision. The irony here is that this interpretation would have disqualified several U.S. presidents, including some of the founding fathers like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Legal and historical context. Legal experts and historians are quick to point out that this argument is not only historically inaccurate, but also legally baseless. The Dred Scott decision has been widely condemned as the worst ruling in the history of the Supreme Court and has no standing in today's legal framework. Moreover, the 13th and 14th Amendments, passed after the Civil War, clearly define citizenship and have nullified the Dred Scott ruling. The U.S. Archives even notes that the ruling is considered by many legal scholars to be the worst ever rendered by the Supreme Court. What's next? So, what does this all mean? While the NFRA's argument might appeal to a fringe group, it's important to understand that it has no legal basis in today's America. Kamala Harris, Nikki Haley, and Vivek Ramaswamy all meet the constitutional requirements to run for president as defined by current law. That's all for today's deep dive. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to XYZ Fitness and Health for more news on our Jamaican sister Kamala Harris. What are your thoughts on this controversial claim? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay informed.